God gave me this thing, and I thought about it for a minute, and I studied for a long time last night to make everything make sense to me. And sometimes when you study, some things don't make sense. You just got to give what God gave you, and it didn't make sense to me at first, but now it made sense. Because what's happening in this life in this day and time, we get comfortable in everything we do. We get comfortable. It's like a routine. It's like checking the box. Every time we check in the box. I gotta be to work from 8 to 5. Let me check that box. I come back home. Let me look at a certain TV show. Let me check that box. All right, it's 9:30. Let me go to bed. Let me check that box. Everything is such a routine thing, and we got in this comfort zone. It's all about we getting too comfortable. When you get too comfortable with things got a way of sneaking up on you. Because you get comfortable, you're not alert. You're not seeing things you normally don't see when you're uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you see everything around you because you got your radar out all the time. But when you comfortable, it's like getting in a lazy ball. You sit the seat back, you're comfortable now. Anybody can sneak up on you because you're not really paying attention 100%. Because you got in this comfortable spot in your life that you think this is where I belong. I'm not going to go any further. Money-wise, I'm happy. Family-wise, I'm happy. House, I'm happy. Life, I'm just a happy, happy life. Because you done got comfortable in that life. When you get comfortable, it's hard to grow when you're comfortable. You can only grow when you're uncomfortable because you're not comfortable with what you have. You want to go up the next level. He gave us life, and he wants life more abundantly. He didn't give us a stationary point. All right, you stay at this level, you go no further. Abundance, that means more. That means you can't just settle for just less. When you get comfortable, you just settle there. You go no further. I'm comfortable right now. I'm going to settle right here. I'm not going to go any further. So you go to church. I'm going to go to church at 10:30. Church will be over to preaching on peace now. We should be out here by no later than 1. But just a regular routine. All right, let me go back home again. It's Sunday dinner time. All right, eat Sunday dinner, 3:30, maybe 4. Now, after we eat, now this all being comfortable. It's all being routine here now. And this show, people can write a book on your everyday life because everything stays the same. Nothing changed at all. But we got to get away from that same old comfortable routine. We got to break the chain on the routine life. Shake it up a little bit. Change it a little bit. Don't do the same thing all the time. Because if you do the same thing all the time, after a while, you become stagnant, you become boring. Everything stays that way. But in God, nothing's never boring. Jesus was never. The whole time he was here comfortable. He was always on the move. He never stayed in one spot. He never got comfortable. The only thing he did was rest, and he did God's work. He rested, he got up, he teach, he healed the sick, he done all these things. Because he never got comfortable. Even the day he died on the cross for our sake. It's no comfort. It's no comfort being nailed to a cross. There's no comfort in it at all. But we get in our life, we get to be so comfortable. And we don't want to do not one thing. We wonder why we can't achieve. You can ask yourself why you can't achieve because you're comfortable in where you're at in your life. I'm happy with my education. I don't want to take it any further. I'm happy with my job. I don't want to take it any further. Whenever I go get a job, I always ask, how high can I go? Can I have your job? If the guy said yes to me, then that's the company I need to go work for. Because I know there's a place for me to move forward. There's a place for me to move ahead. You can't go someplace where the guy said the same position you got now, the same money you got now is always going to be the same way. You can't live your life in that comfort zone. You can't live your life being that comfortable. Because the devil roams to and fro, just waiting for you to just close your eye just a little bit. And then he sneaks up on you. Because you done got so comfortable now, anybody can sneak around you. Even when you're in a race car, they don't make you comfortable in a race car. They got you strapped down for your safety. They got you eyes forward. Because everything you need to know is in the front of you. They didn't got in a race car, you can sit back and recline the seat and turn all the music on and do all. It's not like that. It's like you being fastened in the car because you are there for a purpose. You are there to win a race. That's it. And in God, it's the exact same way. We are here to run a race. You can't run something when you're comfortable. Because after a while you get tired and it's time to go. It's time to go make disciples. It's time to go minister to somebody. Well, I don't feel like it today. It's time for Ellen to come on. I can't do it right now. Or it's time for the afternoon, evening show to come on. I can't go to church today because my main TV show is on. Because you done got so comfortable. People done got so comfortable in the church now, the church don't have any meaning anymore. Because now the pandemic coming and the pandemic kicked in, and all of a sudden now they take the comfort from the church to their home now. So now they in church, laying in the bed, just with the laptop in your lap. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're getting the word, but you're getting too comfortable. They're making the world now that you don't have to even drive your car anymore. You are putting your hands and you're putting your life in the hands of a computer. Tap a button and the car just takes over. You tell me, how are you being alert? You done got so tired. Now before these had a rest stop. You pull over on the rest stop and you get your rest. Now all of a sudden, now they eliminate some rest stops just because of the cost of the rest stop. Now all of a sudden, now it's no rest. Let the car do the driving. God, we're not human. We got body. We are a body. And everything on your body got a purpose. Everything. Not just to touch a button and let something take over. That's getting too comfortable. I appreciate all these nice things. It's nice to have. But you still got to take control of your life. You can't give control of your life to a computer. You can't give control of your life to being comfortable. When you give control of certain things, you giving up everything. You're not holding up one thing. I'm done now. I'm done giving up. That's it. It's over now. I'm not doing it anymore. That's it. That's it for me. Because I'm happy right here where I'm at. I wake up every day. I go to sleep every night. Bills are paid. What more do I really need? Because you got this mind thinking I'm comfortable. I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to go and see what God got to offer me. Our footstep is ordered by God. He paved the way for us. He can't pave the way for you if you and a lazy boy. It's hard for that to happen. Because now you're comfortable. Now I don't want to do anymore. You pick the Lord up. Well, you put the Lord in a box. Lord, I need you now. Let me pick the box up the closet. Let me dust the box off. Now it's time for me to pick the Lord up. Now it's time for him to do miracle and exceeding abundantly things in my life. But once you get done doing it, let me put him aside now. I don't need him anymore. He's not a coat that you can just hang up in the closet. He's a coat of armor that you need to keep on in your life for the protection. Those who have your Bible, let's turn to Matthew 28 and 18. Then Jesus came to them and said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, this is the key word. He didn't say get comfortable. He said go and make disciples of all nations. Baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and teach them to obey everything I command you. And surely I will be with you to the very end of age. You can't make something if you're comfortable. How could you go bring people to Christ if you can't even open your front door? How could you prophesy to somebody? How could you deliver somebody if you lived an everyday, routine, comfortable life? That's even in business. How could you grow a business if you don't have the foresight to see going forth with it? It's difficult. Like you said, you got to write it and you got to make it plain. This is something I want to do. He said, go. Even when you're running a race, it's ready, set, and go. He's not ready, set, and just ease off the finish line. It's ready, set, and go. It's time to go. We're being too relaxed. It's time to go now. It's time to stop being relaxed. It's time to go forth now. It's time to let God's word go forth. It's time to stop keeping everything all bundled up on the inside. It's time to let people know who God is, what God stands for. It's time to bring people to Christ now. Even your friends, you sit by your friends, some of you don't even know, your friends don't even know you're saved. They look at you and you living the same life they're living. You're doing the exact same thing they do. Sometimes your life living can change people and bring people to Christ. You ain't got to say no one word. It's just your life living change things. But it's when you're comfortable. When you're comfortable with something, you blend in with people. Because that's what's going on. You blend in with people. We got to stop just blending in. Christ didn't blend in the whole time he was here on earth. He was like a little tornado. Every way he go, he turned the ground. Every way he go. When he left, everybody know who Jesus was. Everybody know. He tell them go and don't say anything. But it's that fire, when he left, that was inside of them, they couldn't keep their mouth shut. Guess what this man did? He spit in my eye, now I could see. But these are the things he done when he was here. He did not get comfortable at any moment. Even at death, he didn't got comfortable. He still plowed ahead. He still made his way. He didn't get comfortable, not one bit. But we got a tendency, we do just a little bit and we want to get comfortable. Lord, I have done this now. I have arrived at this. I have arrived now. So now that means I need to really enjoy what I have arrived with or what I have. You know, I did all that work on my house. And I said, now it's time for me to relax and enjoy it. And I called myself sitting down relaxing. I had to spring right back up just like a little chicken because I couldn't keep still because I wasn't comfortable. God don't want us to be comfortable all the time. It's when you're uncomfortable. That's when you do your best work. It's hard to do your work when you're comfortable. When you're sitting and you're trying to do work, you're so comfortable, you're laid back and relaxed, and you're not aware of everything's going on, and you're just sitting there. But when you're uncomfortable, it's when you look at everything, you read every word there is to read. But that's when you're uncomfortable. Nothing slips by. You're aware of everything that's going on around you. But it's when you're comfortable. The least little thing, just stop and run you over. And you wonder what happened. You didn't even see it coming. Sometimes you set your cruise control in the car and you just sit back and you relax and you nod off and somebody come and they cut you off and you never saw the car coming. You never saw the car coming. The devil is the exact same way. When you get comfortable, you can never see him coming until he's right there on you. Then Lord, help me. And God will be right there to help you. But you can't get but so comfortable. When you get comfortable, you lose your zeal. You lose your focus. You will never live up to your full potential when you get comfortable. Because it's hard to live up to something when you're comfortable where you're at right now. But we got to get past this point of being set on where we're at. We got to go beyond that. We got to do the unexpected. And that's what's going on now. Let's turn to Luke 5. One day, let me make sure this is the right one. Let's go to Luke 5 and 1. One day Jesus was standing in the lake of Gethsemane. People were crowded around him and listening to the word of God. He saw the water edge and two boats. He left there by the fishermen who was washing their nets. He got into the boat of one that belonged to Simon. He asked him to pull out a little far from shore. And then he sat down and he taught the people from the boat. When he finished speaking, he said to Simon, pull out into deep waters and let down your net for a catch. Simon said, Master, I have worked hard all night and I have not caught anything. But because you said so. Simon got comfortable in the routine he had going. He was sitting there and he got comfortable. He done worked all night. He was tired. He didn't want to go the extra mile. And Jesus told him, put down your net. When he had done so, he caught so much, large number of fish that their net began to break. So then single of their partners and the other boats came to help him, and they all, and full both boats, so full, they began to sink. If he hadn't listened, he would have missed out. He sat and he got in his comfortable routine. Let me go to my normal fishing hole. If I don't catch anything, let me come back. Let me make my day go. Let me wash my net. Let me get stocked up for tomorrow. But it's when Christ came, it changed. He broke the routine he had. He broke that routine and he listened. And when he listened, it changed everything. Filled all his nets. It was breaking. Call, hey boys, come on, I got a lot of fish. Fill all their boats up. It changed everything because he listened to God. He didn't get comfortable. It's when we get comfortable, things got a way of happening. Even in life. Lord, I want this, but you don't want to do the things it takes to get this. When you want certain things, it requires a lot of work. It's not one of the things I want this and I want to do it on my term and my time. I want to do this thing the way I think it should be done. I want to do this thing the way I think it should happen. I want to do this thing the way I got it all mapped out on a piece of paper. That's the way I want to do it. Same way Simon did. Everybody brought their boat in. And here comes Jesus. He walked in. Like I said, he walked into the room. Except he walked into the boat this time. And everything changed. Nothing stays the same. It's when he is in your life, nothing never stays the same. Everything changed. But you got to realize, in order for that to happen, you got to get out that comfort zone. You got to get a place in your life where you let God have his way. Even though things may not seem the way it looks, but when you let God have his way, things change. Simon was over. It was it for him. They washed his net. They were just giving Jesus a ride out so he could preach to the people. That's all that was happening. They done came in for the day. But we got to understand is when you think you come in, there's still more to come. It's not over. It's never over. It's over because you would want it to be over. It's over because you got in this place in your life that said, I had enough, I don't want to do anymore. I'm comfortable. But we got to break this curse. We got to get away from this comfort spot that we want to have in our life. You can enjoy what you have. But don't enjoy it so much where you just give up. You don't want it anymore. A rich man is never rich. He constantly trying to make money. Even though they're a billionaire, I don't care. Let me get more. But some people get just a little bit and they're content. They don't want to go any further. But that's that mindset that they have. Sometimes you got to break that mindset. That's the toughest thing to break, is that mindset. People want they'll look at TV and you'll dream with other stuff that people achieve. But they'll look at TV and dream, but you don't have to look at the TV. You can have the exact same thing. But you got to get up and you got to make this thing happen. Laziness, nothing happens when you're lazy. Lazy become lazy, and lazy, you always going to be lazy. But it's when you get up and you put forth everything you got. But when you put everything you got, blood, sweat, and tears, then everything will start happening. Peter and them fish all night long, tired. Being a fisherman is not an easy job. That's work. It's not easy. Dragging everything is all, it's no mechanical thing back in that day. Everything was all manual. So that he done work all night, and then you listen to this man go in deeper waters. You crazy, I didn't work all night. I ain't doing that. And this is probably what he said. This is probably what Simon said. But he did it anyway. And when he dropped the net, he said, yeah, I'm going to see what he do. I'm going to see what he's talking about right now. He dropped the net, and he was in awe. It was a big surprise now. Wow, look call his boys on over. I can't handle all of this. But just because he went the extra mile. Even when you don't want to go the extra mile sometimes you got to go the extra mile. Even when you're just about to give up, go a little further. It changes. You get the second birth to win. There's many times I'd be so tired, but I push myself anyway. Because I don't want to always be where I'm at right now. If you stop pushing, you always going to be in that one spot. Christ didn't go through the first hurdle and then just stop. He kept pushing. Even when everybody turned their back on him, he kept pushing. That was an excuse, but he didn't use he knew what they was going to do. Everybody leaving me now. The race is not about everybody else. It's about you. That's what it's all about. That's something you and God. Your friends, when we get to the end, when you stand before God, they ain't going to be there. The only person going to be there is just you and God, and that's it. When he look at you, he look at nobody else in the room. You're the only one in that room. And you're going to be held accountable for everything that you have done. He said, what have you done for me lately? You got to ask yourself that question. What have you done for God lately? Did you go and make disciples? The Great Commission, did you go do what he wanted? You got to ask yourself that question. Or did you just blow that part off? Lord, I'm not ready for this right now. Lord, I'm not ready to do your will right now. Let me do it at my time. He said to go. He didn't say to sit in one spot. He said to go. The whole time Jesus was here, he went. We're no different than him. No difference. But he go and he done his thing. It's your turn now. It's time to go. It's time to stop sitting on your hands. It's time to get off. It's time to stand up now. It's time to speak God's word. Go and make disciples. Call a friend, phone a friend, whatever it takes. Do God's work. Do what he called us to do. Go and make disciples. That's what he wants from us. And you should want the same thing for your life. Just say when you come up, you bring someone else up with you. Bring somebody else. Don't try to do it all by yourself. We got a tendency, we think we can do all and know all. We can do everything all by ourselves. We don't need help from no man and nobody. Jesus was here. He had help the whole time he was here. Up until death. He had help the whole time. But we got this thing in our mind and we're going to do this thing all by ourselves. We're going to be the superhero. We're going to be the Aquaman. We're going to do all this stuff by ourselves without help from anybody else. But I'm here to tell you, you need help. In the midst of anything you're going through, you need somebody you can talk to. When you get stuck in your rut, you need somebody to help you get up out your rut. When you get in a comfortable spot, no, I ain't time to sit down now. You know, you run the race, you get so tired. Like even in the military, when you get in the military, when you get tired, when you run up this hill, you got all the rucksack on, everything on your back, carry a machine gun and everything on your back, and you sit there, you're only as strong as your weakest man. When your weakest man get weak, that's you. Stop. Let's help him. If you just don't turn your back on that man, no, you help that man. Yeah. You don't just let that man go astray. You help him along. Yeah. Even when you're getting ready for your physical training, y'all work out together. Hey man, let me hold your leg and you do the. Let me hold your leg. You do the sit up. Hey, you count for me. You make sure I'm in the right shape. It's about helping one another. That's what it's all about. It's not about spreading apart. You do you and I do me. It don't work like that. We are all here to help each other. You can talk about people all you want. It's easy to talk, but it's very hard to help. It's easy to throw a rock at somebody. It's easy to pick a rock up and throw it.
Yeah.
But the same thing happened to you. Who's going to throw the rock at you?
Right.
But it's when you do right. Right things happen. And that's what this thing is all about. Hey, man, you're getting a little relaxed now. What do you want to do? You mean you need some help on something? Or, oh, man, I'm just taking a break right now. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to be right here until you get right back up so we can get this week, so we can continue this race. You never leave a man behind. I guess that's the military part of me, but you never leave a man behind. You always pick a man up. The rich get rich, and what do? They educate their kids so they don't have to go through that. They didn't leave their kids alone and say, all right, you be done, you live off of my money. No, they make them earn that. They got the luxury of having all these different things. But they make them earn it. Because they know if they don't earn it and it's a gift to them, it's not going to last. Their wealth going to die. But it's when you work for something. And you don't get in this little comfort zone or this, what they call, I'm entitled. I'm entitled to this. You're not entitled to anything. It's what you work for. That's what you're entitled to. Everybody saying God owed me this. God don't owe you nothing. It's what you owe him. He gave his son for you. His only begotten son. That's what he done. And the only thing he asks for you is to give your life to me. That's all he asks. Give your life to me. I gave my son for you. Can you give your life to me? It's a simple thing. It's nothing complicated about this thing. It's all simple, but you've got to be willing to put in the work. You got to be, if you go to work and no work, you're not going to get a check. Or you're not going to be there long because you're going to get fired. Period. It's one thing with God, he's not going to fire you. He's going to try to help you get up. With him, you got options. Not today, Lord. He's not going to persecute you. He's not going to do things to you. Like, you got your whole mind, your free will. But you know what he has done for you. That's why it's all about the heart. The heart is the most important thing here. The word of God should be on our heart. The love of the Father is in our heart. If you love somebody, you'll never walk away from the person you love in spite of the way they treat you. You never walk away. You will find out what their problem is because everybody got issues every now and then. Everybody have a bad day. And you got to ask yourself, how do you act on your bad day? When you have a bad day, how do you expect people to handle and deal with you on your bad day? Can you imagine everything Christ went through? You got to wonder sometime if he ever had a bad day. If I had to live his life, every day would have been bad. Like, man, what, again today? I got to go through this again? I'm going to be spit on? I'm going to be flogged? I'm going to go through all this again? For what? For people don't even appreciate me? Can you imagine doing all this stuff and people don't even appreciate what you have done? Can you imagine how you feel when you do things like that? Imagine how Jesus feels. All these things I have done for this sin, and this is how you treat me. You hanging me on the cross again for the same old sin. Because I don't want to do more. I don't want to achieve more. I want to be right. I want to wallow right here in my mess. You can clean a pig up. And as soon as you get through, when I was young, we had pigs and chicken. You would clean a pig up, and if you washed off with a kid, back then we treat a little pig like a little pet. So you would clean the little pig up, next thing you know, you got it all clean. What the pig gonna do? The pig gonna go right back to his mud again. After all that work you done, that pig, then you gonna get mad. It's the same thing. Christ did all that stuff for you. You're gonna still go back and wallow in the same old spot you was at before when he first saved you. But we got to get away from some of these things that we putting ourselves to. It's not one of them things that it's a self-inflicted wound. We doing all this stuff to ourselves because we got comfortable in a certain way. And when you got comfortable, enemy come from every angle. Even in combat, you rotate. You do 6, 12, 4-hour shifts. A guy don't sit up there 24 hours a day. Because he sit up on guard duty 24 hours a day, the whole platoon will be dead. Because now you got nobody on the front line watching anything. Because he doesn't sit there so long. When you sit for a player so long, you get comfortable. I don't care how cold it is, you get comfortable and you sleep. You could be the most eager beaver in the world. I ain't sleeping in the snow. Next thing you know, you laid out. Because you're tired. You needed that rest. You got comfortable. And the enemy would sit right there and he would just wait. He'll lie dormant for a long time. He'll just sit and wait, and all of a sudden, they're going to get tired in a minute. They're going to get comfortable because they got everything in their life, everything is coming forward. Look at everything Job had. He had everything. And the Lord gives the devil permission. But don't hurt him. I can't do that with Job because you got the hedge around his life. Even when Job had the hedge, he never got comfortable. He used to always sacrifice some stuff, even though his kids didn't sin. He knew his kids. He sacrificed things anyway. Because the sin he thought his kids did. Because he sat and he went through all this stuff. Some people get certain things and they get caught up. The Lord bless you with all these things, and all of a sudden you're going to get caught up in what you got. And when you get caught up now, you're getting comfortable. The Lord blessed me with this now. Just let me lay back and enjoy this thing. And that's it. The work now is over. I have reached the mountaintop. That's it for me. I've plateaued. I don't need nothing else. And you sit and you get so comfortable. And the little thing you think you got, all of a sudden you see it just gradually just slipping away from it. Because you got comfortable. When people get comfortable, they got a tendency of losing everything. Because they get too comfortable. Seek and destroy. He roamed to and fro. You always got to be on alert. Always. Don't never let nobody tell you you need to let your guards down. Christ didn't let his guards down the whole time he's been here on earth. You can come at him at every angle. Even walking down the road. You imagine walking in that road, who touched me? All these crowds, who touched me? Because he felt something was drained from his body. First, you come from it, so he knew somebody touched him. First, it's a crowd of people. Who cares? Who touched me? Because he was always on guard. He always knew what was going on, no matter what happened. 360, he had it. Surrounded. When you got Christ in your life, you got a shield around you. If anything happened, you're shielded. You're going to go through battles, like I said last time. You're going to go through some things. But when you go through it, you go through it with peace. He didn't say go through it relaxing in comfort. Go through it in peace. Because when you get comfortable inside, the devil got a way of making you think, God don't care about you. That's why you were here right now. This is why you're going through this, because he don't like you. This is why you're going through this right now, because he don't care. But when you at peace with him, you hear his voice. He looks for a reason to turn you against the Father. Don't give him that reason. He looked for a reason, but don't give him that reason. We are here to go and make disciples. That's our great commission. That's what he wants us to do. That's not a hard task. It's easy to come up and talk to people. Either they want to talk to you or you don't. God love you, and walk away. That's all. You tried. You did what he wanted you to do. But it's when you sit and you see somebody and God telling you to talk to that person. No, that ain't God telling me to talk to that person. I'm just keep it moving. That's just something that just come up. I'm not going to talk to that person. But the whole time, the word, when God tell you to do something, it's when you in tune with him and you listen to God when he tell you to do something. You need to do it. You need to be obedient and do it. Because that person, that might be that person's last day on this earth. And he is supposed to walk into one person that can give him that word. That's why he said to go. He didn't say to stay, he said to go. How could you stay in the room? What are you going to do with just staying in the room? You're not doing anything just sitting in the room. You can talk to everybody in the room. But it's the people on the outside room, the one that need to be talked to. Jesus didn't spend his time in the church. He spent his time in the streets where the people's at. We can't get comfortable just being here in the church. It's more to God than just being here in the church. We come to fellowship, to testify, to hear what the pastor got to say that day, to be fed, and to go out now. My stomach full. Now I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to spread now. But when people get their stomach full, and I'm guilty, they got tendency to want to lay down, they want to take a nap. They want to sleep that food off. But but when you go out and do God's work, when you're full of God's word, you got to go out there, you got to put that word out there. You can't let the word stay within you. You got to put the word out. It's just like fire shut up in your bone. How could you let this fire on the inside you not just keep your mouth closed and don't say nothing? It's hard for that to happen. Because my family isn't talking, but it's hard for just to sit one place and you got the fire within you and you just want to not say anything. You just want to just keep it moving. A person can be crying out to you, and you look at him and in high step, walk a little faster, just to get away from it. But our job is to go out and do what God wants us to do. Our job is not to sit and be cute and then dress a certain way and do certain things and come just to make a fashion statement. It's more than just a fashion statement. Back in the day when I used to go to church, it wasn't a person sitting down in the seat. It was jumping, serving the Lord. But now, church is not like it used to be anymore. Church done got comfortable. People in church got comfortable doing certain things. But it's time to break that curse. It's time to be uncomfortable now. It's time to do what God called us to do. It's time to go out there and do what he wants us to do. And that's to go. That didn't say stop. That's to go. We got to go. We got to do things. We got to reach the people that's hungry right now for God's word. Just hungry. Waiting to be fed. Every day. But we live our life like we don't have a job to even go to. When you're saved, you got a job to do. You can't have the title just say, I'm saved. I'm a pastor. I'm an evangelist. I'm a prophet. That's all. It's more than just a title. It's about going out and do what that title called you to do. That's what it's all about. Even at work, you're a superintendent, go do what a superintendent's supposed to be. You're a secretary, you go do what a secretary's supposed to do. You go to your job and don't want to do your secretarial skills, and let me see how long you're going to stay employed. You're not going to stay employed long. It's the same thing with God's work. When God gave us a great commission to do his work, he's given us a job to do. It's just like the people hide them when God gives the five the talent. It's the exact same thing. What are you going to do? You're going to bury yours in the backyard and just let nothing happen to it? I'm just going to bury this. The gift God gave us, take it out the dirt. Take it out the coffin. Dig it up. Use that gift. Don't bury that gift. Don't bury something that God gave you. It's like God giving you a gift, and I'm going to take that gift, and I'm going to bury that gift in the dirt. Because that gift don't mean anything to me. Because if I pick this gift up now, when I pick this gift, I got to work now. But if I leave this gift in the back, if I leave it buried, now it's no work. I got the gift, but I don't have to do the work now. But when I pick this thing up and I got this gift, now I got to do this work. Because when you got a gift, there's work involved in that gift. I'm very gifted. But in order for me to apply my gift, I got to put forth the work. But when you get done, you look at what the talent that you have, you get amazed sometimes. I didn't know I had all of that. But you never know what you got until you put it to work. Until you put it to, you got to put it to use. Why have it and don't use it? You got to ask yourself that question. Why would I have something and I don't want to use it? I got $1 million in the bank, but I just want to just look at it right now. My bills are due, my life getting ready to get cut off, but I want to just look at it right now. Why have it if you don't want to use it? You got to ask yourself, I got a gift deep down inside of me, but I don't want to use that gift. I want to keep this gift hidden. It's time to stop hiding the gift. It's time to bring the gift out. It's time to go. You got to go. You got to use this thing. You got to stop burying this thing. You got to use it. Don't die with your gift still buried in the dirt. Christ used every gift he had when he'd been here. When you use all your gift, you leave an impact on people's lives. When you walk out that room, they'll know when you leave that room. Because you're going to leave something behind that they'll never forget. Because you're using the gift that God gives you. You're using that gift. That's why he tell you go. He ain't going to tell you to go somewhere and you're going empty-handed. He going to give you what you need to go. He's not going to say, just go. And you sit there, where am I going? Where should I go? You know what I mean? But when God tell you to go somewhere, you're going for a purpose. He's going to give you everything you need for your journey. Everything. I tell people all the time, try God. Just try him. Try him. And see what happens. You ain't got to try nothing. Just try it. Like the other person said, something about Mikey or something. Mikey or like it. Well, I can't think of the commercial right now, but it's just one of them things. But when you go and you try something, you never let it go. But first, you got to try it. Some people get their feelings hurt sometime and something happened in life and they said, I'm not doing this anymore. But you got to try this thing. You can't let one little bad thing change the way you look at things. Some people get hurt one time. Church hurt one time. I'm not doing this thing anymore. Church what? God what? Who is God? That's the way people feel after being hurt. God is not like that. God is forgiving. Whoever may have hurt you, forgive them and move on. But don't let that hurt hold you in your spot. Don't let that hurt hold you in one spot. You got to get away from this thing. You got to understand who God is. You got to understand the love that he has for you. Any two times somebody's going to give their only son, Jesus left comfort for the cross. Can you imagine you leaving comfort for the cross? Leaving heaven now to come down and be prosecuted for no reason. For you. You are that reason. You owe him that much. He left glory to be nailed on a cross. But what he did, he proved that everything he wants you to go and do, it can be done. He will never send you to say something like your parents always tell you, don't do this, son. But what hard-headed child want to do? Ain't going to do it anyway. That water's hot. Don't stick your hand in there. What are you going to do? You're going to stick your hand in hot water. You're going to get your hand burnt. You was told not to do it, but you're going to do it anyway. But that's one of them things that it's the fleshly part of us, like things like that going to happen. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to fall short sometimes. But you can get back up and you can keep it moving. But you try it. A person can't talk bad at you if they don't even try. How could you say something to me and you're not doing anything? At least I'm trying. But you got to first do something. You got to ask yourself, am I really trying? Am I ready to go now? Or I'm just ready to stand right here by the door and every now and then I just take a peep and see what it looks like. I just want to peep out the door before I go. It's when you peep, you get hesitated, and you say, no, I'm not going out there because that's just too much. I can't handle this. You'll never know if you can't handle something if you don't even try. When I first bought my motorcycle, I rode dirt bike before, but never bought a bike. Never rode a motorcycle. I said to them, what, YouTube video and everything else. And the guy said, what kind of bike you want? I want the biggest and the fastest bike you got in the store. Never rode a bike like that before in my life. People said, what? And what? Why? And I went to class, I told the guy what kind of bike I had. He said, what? Why did you get a bike that size? Because I want to get a bike that size. I choose to do that. Your job is to teach me and to educate me. Let me do the rest. That's all it is. And I told the guy the same thing on every single bike. It's the throttle. You could have a 600 or you can have a 1300. It's all in the wrist. You can treat it any which way you want to, but it's still in the wrist. It's still under your control. That's what it's under your control. It doesn't matter what you have, but it's still under your control. And after he heard that, he didn't say anything else. I said, why should I go buy something small and 6 months down the road, I got to buy it again? Why don't I buy what my heart desires and what I want? Why should I listen to the worst thing people want to tell you, go get this? Why would I let you deter me from what I really want? You're not living my life. I'm living my life. I pick and choose how I'm going to live my life, not you. Because you got to die for your life. Nobody else. It's just you. Don't let nobody else tell you what to do. You do what God tells you to do. You do what's in your heart. That's what matters. It's what's in your heart. That's what matters at all. It doesn't matter anything anybody else said, but it's what's in your heart. If I let this guy deter me, I would have gotten that bike and first thing would step in, which I ain't gonna tell you in life. Fear did step in. I was afraid to death. I got on that bike. The first time I got the bike, we were sitting there. My mom said, well, why did you buy that bike? I can't even get the bike out the trailer. I unstrapped the bike. I just spent all this money. We think, poof, the bike fell right off. Scratched right off the rubber, and a busted mirror. Brand new, fresh out the crate, just put together. But did I let that deter me? No. When I got back home, I'm gonna tell you, I put the bike in the trailer. I thought I had it fastened down good. That bike laid all over the place the whole way going back to Maryland. All over the place. Look at that bike, Lord have mercy. I had to buy a new mirror. I still got scratched the bike like right now after this day. But I never let the fear of that bike fear me not to get on. I got to the yard. I got back to Maryland. I sat there and I said, how am I going to get this bike from this trailer into my garage? And my house is on a hill. I can't ride. I said, I can't push this big bike up the hill. So I said, I waited till dark, right? When nobody else can see. I said, if something happens, it'll be between me and God. When nobody else can see anything, I'm sitting, I'm getting this bike. I'm trying to figure out how I'm getting this thing. I eyeball. I made sure that my neighbors, my neighbors, man, you got a bike? Oh, yes. And if I'm going to take it out later, I'm not going to take it out. I'm going to take it out later. You know what I mean? You need help? No, I'm all right. I sit in the house for a long time. When dusk came, I didn't have me a pathway cleared. I said, worst case, I run it all the way in the back of the garage. So it's one thing, I look at YouTube video and everything and figure out how to make this thing work. And I sit there and say to myself, the worst case happens, I can squeeze the clutch in and grab the brake. And I got that bike in the garage and it stayed there for a while. And I asked the guy at work, man, can you teach me how to ride this thing? Man, I can teach us. No, I'm not messing around with you. Because he's going to teach me the wrong way to ride a bike from being a beginner. And I say to myself, the best way to do this thing is do it the right way and go to school. And that's what I did. I got it from the teacher himself, what to do if you ever get in a pinch. Christ is the exact same way. Don't go to somebody else. Go directly to him because you got a direct connect now. Yes. You don't have to go through a sacrifice lamb. You got to find old lamb, make sure the lamb pure. And you ain't got to go through that no more. Those days are over now. Now you can go directly to him. Yeah. A direct connect right to him. Jesus said, there he go. He's already in the room. Just that quick. Life is the exact same way. It's you and God. So whatever gift God gives you, utilize that gift. Don't get comfortable in your gift. Don't have it. People always give an excuse. Why you ain't doing this? Well, I'm gonna do this thing next week. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this thing next week. I would believe in writing things down and making it plain. When I started my company, I had a plan. I had it wrote down, and I had everything worked out right. But I never went the extra mile. I had everything right, but I never went the extra mile. I said, something, that's it. I'm all in this thing. I'm not playing no more. I'm all in this thing now. And once I jumped over that first hurdle, I realized, I could have done this the whole time. Yes. But fear set in, and I was afraid to jump over that first hurdle. Yeah. After I bought my first house, I said, man, this is not that bad. You said, man, I'm starting to like this thing now. This is pretty easy now. I tell my brother last time, I'm getting ready to buy another one. It's just when you get started, it's when you step past that fear. It's the point of first getting started, and you take that first leap. When you take that first leap, everything else it's easy. Because now you done let the devil know the fear is no longer here anymore. He will put everything in your way, everything in your sight, everything in your mind that you can't do. You'll be the first one in your family now to sit down before you make a fool of yourself. You can't make a fool of yourself because you're trying. God is not going to let you make a fool of yourself because he's your child. He's your father. A parent always protects the child, even when they do things stupid. They're still right there to pick the pieces up. Yes. But you first got to try this thing. See whether God's going to pick the pieces up or not. You'll never know until you try. The biggest thing is to try. That's the hardest thing it is to try. But you first got to put fear out the way. And ever since I learned to ride that bike, I had fear ever since. Every now and then, but you got to respect what you're riding. Yes. It's people, I'm going to tell you how people get hurt. People say, have you ever dropped your bike? Yeah, when I first got it, I wasn't even on it. But I just dropped it. It dropped by itself. I strapped it the wrong way. But people get hurt or do something stupid, and I'm going to tell you why, because they got comfortable. Yeah. When you think you're comfortable with something, you start doing stupid stuff. Pulling back, doing a wheelie for no particular reason. Standing, doing sideways. Hey, let me ride you in the back of my bike too. Let me stop, let me stand up on the front wheel. Because you're getting comfortable now. It's when you get comfortable, then he got a way of easing on in. You think you got this now? All right, no problem. I'm going to put you on your back. And you're in the emergency room all skinned up. Because you didn't respect what you was riding on. God the same way. Respect him. Because he is your father. He gives you life. He gives you breath. He is your healer, your protector. You got to understand, he protects you. Even when you don't think you're being protected, he's protecting you. You got to understand the love he has for you. When you love somebody, he only wants the best. Everybody can say, I want the best for you, but under their breath, and I'll wait for you to fail. God is not like that. Everybody in your life, they want you to go do things, but the minute something goes wrong, didn't I tell you should have never done that? That's not a friend. Yeah. I hate to hurt your feeling, but it's not a friend. When you feel or something falls short, hey man, what happened? You know what? Hey, let me help to get this thing. Let's strategize this thing a little bit better. That's a friend. A friend don't wait till you fail and they'll throw a rock at you. Because they didn't try and you had the nerve to try. Yes. That's the difference. You had more nerve than they ever will. Some people always keep what they call it. They keep lackeys behind them, I guess. I guess that's what they call it. A friend that they're still trying to fit in, and they do anything the friend tell them to do just to say they belong to that group of friends. Best thing I can tell you to do, come with the group of Christ. You'll never fail. You'll never fail. He'll be with you no matter what. He'll never talk about you. He will respect you for who you are, and he will help you bring your talent out and bring it to the floor. He will help you. He would help your talent blossom. That's the God I serve. He would help your talent blossom. Because when you got a connection with him and you talking to him all the time, he's nudging you the whole time. A friend ain't gonna nudge you. A friend just gonna sit and just look at you. Girl, what happened to that business you said you had? Well, and you trying to dance around a little bit. Why it ain't happening? But when you got God, it doesn't matter what happened. You do what God tell you to do. And your friend look at you and say, man, I'm amazed. I want that God you got. Because that God you got giving you more than I ever see. But that's concluded the word for today. Lord, I thank you for this word. Let it multiply. And let the seed be planted on every willing soul. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I was getting a little carried away. Look at the clock. I was getting the third year on that one. But it's something but I wrestled with this thing last night for a while. When you think you got something, you really don't have.